Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And I'm already bumping the camera. This is off to a great start. Anyway, today it is all about Transformers Generations Scourge. The one and only Scourge I currently own, and honestly have ever owned, if I'm honest. I don't know, I've just never been big into Scourge. What can I say? But this guy is pretty neat. I actually am quite into the flying wing kind of jet form that he's got going on here. Lots of enjoyable molded detail. I think those are supposed to be flaps in the wings. Not entirely sure if those will do any kind of good, considering if those are windows for the cockpit, then this thing's got to be massive. But still, nice molded detail all around. I definitely like, these will become the arms, but I like how they use the robot arms as like engines. That's a really nice effect. It even carries through into the back too. Some nice actual molded detail on the insides of the engines too. On the underside, like they did a really good job of hiding all the robotness in here. And there you can see, you even got little wheels. Yeah. But yeah, Scourge's alt mode, I think, I should say Generations Scourge's alt mode, is pretty cool. I like the flying wing shape. I tend to like that design in regular planes as well, like the B-2 stealth bomber I used to be fascinated with just because of the design of it. And I know this isn't like, obviously it's not a B-2 bomber, but just the whole flying wing thing, I just think that's a really neat design. I also like the way that they broke up the blue and white on Scourge here. It's an interesting balance, how you've got like the blue going along the front here, and then the rest of it is pretty much white, and then just like the engines in the back, and like this area is blue. I kind of feel like this blue should have carried over into the wing, into both wings, to kind of, at the very least, follow this design element down to here. I'm sure it's like a paint budget thing, because it looks like it's meant to continue, but yeah. I feel like that would look even cooler, just to help kind of define those wings a little bit more. Still, looks good. Yeah. There's not a whole lot else I could say about his alt mode, really. I mean, it's nice. I like the little slightly angled down wingtips. I like the big engines. I like the blue and white color scheme works really well. And yeah, it's just they did a really good job of hiding the robot in this. And of course, I almost forgot. So, do a quick size comparison with Samus so you can see how so you can see how big his alt mode is. Obviously not tall, but reasonably lengthy, and definitely it definitely has a pretty sizable wingspan. All right, let's get this sucker into robot mode. Alright, Scourge's robot mode. This is definitely interesting. Again, I don't know much about Scourge, but I think from what I've seen, this seems like Scourge. He's got the colorful talons, the beard. Yeah. So in terms of the way all this comes together, I do actually really like how this works. I think the way that the arms transform with that folding and sliding and flipping and turning back around just works really well. I like how the jets kind of fold and form back to create some interesting shoulder bits. And you get this little detail that you don't even see in vehicle mode, which is nice. And yeah, it works really well. The jet ends actually work well for sort of bracers, if you want to call them that. Maybe gauntlets, I don't know. And then, you know, this chest detail was the top of the jet, or plane, whatever. That works as well. You get more ab detail from where it's slid up, which actually works really well in conjunction with the rest of this, where you've got that like gunmetal that kind of goes up into the dark silver, not silver, but like the dark gray that's almost gunmetal-ish. Like you can tell that's painted and that's plastic, but it's close enough in tone and shade to kind of just make this line going all the way up, which works really well. And of course, you've got the leg detail, which is, you know, it's the front of the plane split in half, working as a leg, but it works really well. Like when you see it, it works as boots. Like the shape is great for that. And I think that's just really interesting how that whole mechanism ended up working. And I also like this little bit of red that's revealed after you pop out the wings. Now see here, you can see that like the blue cuts off there. They totally could have just kept it going with the wings because they're separate, but you know, they didn't. That's how it goes. Now let's take a look at that face. That's, from what I know, that's a Scourge face. I do have to say, I like the fact that he's one of the few Transformers that not only has a handlebar mustache and a little bit of a chin thing going, but like he can actually pull it off. I don't even mind the goofy pointy thing on the head. I mean, I know that's kind of his staple, but it's like, I don't know, he pulls it off. I feel like it would look goofy on other bots. I also like how they've given him like this collar here, which again, I know that's supposed to be like part of his look, but it's just, I think it works well. There are lots of little design elements to just the character in general, I think, that work really well as overall design elements for a toy. And of course, you've got the wings on the back that can be moved around a little bit. Always appreciate that. And they can pop open. And that's where his weapons are. Pop open. Pop open. There we go. And he's got gun in there. And gun in there. And actually a lot of molded detail on the inside of the wings. Not entirely sure why they bothered to do that. I've seen, I forget if it was MGO or TJ Omega, but like I've seen at least one or two videos where people talk about keeping the wings open to make it look more like a cape. And his gun just fell out. That's okay. And yeah, I think that works as a cape. I dig it. And maybe that's why there's molded detail on the inside of the wings, so that it kind of works from all angles. But yeah. So, getting back to the overall look and color of this guy. I mean, I dig the look. I feel like his head is maybe a tiny bit too small proportionally, especially how it kind of tapers up at the top. But overall, you know, he looks good. He's just, I really like the blue and white here still. And now, as opposed to the vehicle mode where it was predominantly white with some blue, here it's predominantly blue with some white. And I think that's a nice kind of shift where it just kind of helps set it apart a little bit more. I'm not super into the painted fingernails. It's not that I'm against the talons being painted, it's just I'm not a big fan of that color, I guess. Like, it just seems to kind of clash with everything else going on. And yeah, I'm sure it's like more of his character than anything, but you know, just going by the toy, I just feel like Then you've got the red on the knees, which is a nice accent, but I kind of wish that that red was somewhere else as well to kind of just, you know, pop out a couple more details here and there to make it look a little bit more cohesive. Still, all in all, very neat figure, very neat robot mode, very neat vehicle mode. His silhouette is a bit on the weird side because he's got these like larger boots and larger shoulders, but then like kind of a squarish midsection. It's not bad. It's not like, you know, War for Cybertron Bumblebee bad, but you know, it's noticeable. Just since I'm nitpicking, because for some reason I'm in the mood to do that. Yeah, let's do the size comparison before I forget. There's Samus. You can see he shifts around quite a bit. And just for fun, bring in a Titan's Return Deluxe. Where's a good place to put there? You stand here. And you stand here. That's difficult because of the backpack. Okay, that kind of works. And yeah, I guess if you count the little beam thing on top of his head, Scourge is a little bit taller. Okay, you get out of here. And you get out of here. So, Generation Scourge. He is neat. I do have to say, I like how the weapons are there. I like how the weapons store inside his wings. I like how the wings can sort of be opened up to function as a cape. And I like how the wings are also posable. I mean, slightly. They're not like, you know, they're not enormously posable, but you can get some angling out of them, and I do appreciate that. He is a nifty guy. I feel like if I were more familiar with the character, I'd probably have more interesting things to say, but I do like the look. You know, it works, and I really appreciate how so much of the vehicle ends up being robots, and so much of the robot ends up being the vehicle. There's like not a whole lot that's visible, or not a whole lot that's hidden in either mode. So it's just a really good, they did a really good job, I think, constructing this thing with like just shifting the different pieces around so that now that this is here, it becomes this and so on. It's just, it works really well. Yeah. not sure what else I could say about it. So I think I'm going to leave it here, but Scourge is nifty. I mean, if you have him, congratulations, he's neat. If you're interested, then by all means try and track him down because he is pretty nifty. Yeah, I don't really have any, aside from just what you saw with like getting him to stand, I don't really have any complaints. And honestly, I think the standing problem has more to do with the way I had him posed, because he's got a pretty substantial foot. I just think I needed to lean him forward a little bit more. Yeah, like I didn't have the feet pushed back enough, so that was kind of off-center, but yeah, it seems fine now, so even that's not a deterrent. Anyway, that has been my look at Transformers Generations Scourge, and he is nifty. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.